What's up? Welcome back to another video here on the FanTC YouTube channel. Again, apologize if I'm a little off of it. Waking up early, getting this video done. LACC out there in Los Angeles has us some late night finishes here for us Central Time Zone. I can only imagine on the East Coast an hour later. So we're jumping up early in the morning, getting this done. Happy Father's Day to all the great fathers out there. Thank you for everything that you do. Special shout out to my pawpaw. If you find a way to watch this video, appreciate everything that you do. So let's jump in here. Let's go over Saturday real quick at the U.S. Open, and then again I'll give a couple of thoughts, and then we'll go into my Sunday bets. So Saturday we ended up going 2-2-1. Had one bad beat and one kind of lucky beat that kind of made the day pretty much a dead even draw. I think we lost a total of like zero point 0.2 of a unit when you factor in the minus money. So Patrick Reed versus Sergio Garcia. This was one of our losses. Patrick Reed just kind of crapped the bed on us there. Sergio, I think, shot even or one under, so actually had a pretty solid round for the early wave and ended up taking that one. Bryson and Siwoo. Bryson ended up beating Siwoo by a couple strokes. I think he ended up getting a couple under par yesterday, so shout out to Bryson. That was a nice hit. Denny McCarthy, Gary Woodland, dead even tie. I believe they both shot three over, so neither of them were overly impressive, but they did end up tying overall, so that was a push. And then this was the bad beat. This one was rough. It was super cool to see, but Cam Smith, Scotty Scheffler, if you have not seen it already, take a look at what Scotty did on hole 17. They were tied through 16 holes, and Scotty, he makes it out of the fairway. He makes an eagle out of the fairway. Cam Smith goes on to bogey 17. They both birdie 18. So, and Scotty ends up winning, I think, by three strokes. So, yeah, it was it was really cool to see happen. But as soon as you seen that ball tracking, you're like, oh, there goes that bet. No chance of that one hitting. And then lastly, Wyndham Clark versus Ricky Fowler. Again, we were on the Wyndham side. I 100% thought this was going to be a push. Obviously, Ricky ends up three putting on 18, pretty much in the dark, and Wyndham ends up taking that win for us. So that's one thing that I do want to lead into with. Obviously, I know that today that they are starting an hour early, so that way hopefully they don't have to worry about the darkness unless there's a playoff, which right now seems like there's a good chance there could be a playoff. There's a decent amount of names all near the top of the leaderboard, but at a major championship, how are you having people finish in the dark? I mean, this reminds me of Valhalla back when Rory was, pushing basically to finish before it got too dark and they would have to go back out the next day. It's like these are one of four events a year. Like we need to have timing down. We need to have everything happening correctly to where, like Ricky Fowler, if he loses by one, like he's above this. He will never do it. He 100% should reserve the right to be like, hey, I three putted in the dark yesterday. I lose by one. If I'm playing in normal sunlight like the rest of the field was, then maybe I two putt that and I'm in a playoff right now. So I hate that for Ricky. I think that is idiotic on the part of the USGA and LACC if they had anything to do with it. I know LACC has been pretty much a pain in the ass for most of the week when it comes to the fans, where fans can go, how that works. It's kind of a Super Bowl. You don't really have too many true fans there. It's a lot of corporate, and that's really getting shown on social media quite a bit. I don't think LACC is going to get another major championship. I think that unless they are willing to make some major changes to the way that they view themselves and the way they view how golf should be at LACC, I think this will be the last time we see it in a major. And I don't blame them. I'm right there with them. I mean, I understand, and as someone who loves golf and has played a lot of golf, I enjoy being able to see more of the golf course and also see these players hit the ball way left, hit the ball way right, and they're not just in a bunch of laid down grass because people have been standing on it. Like that's what like Matt Fitzpatrick last year at the U.S. Open, him and Will Zalatoris. Zalatoris barely hit the right rough. Matt Fitzpatrick blew one right. Matt Fitzpatrick had a beautiful lie because it was all mowed down from people stepping on it all day. Will Zalatoris was in super thick rough. I believe that was on 17. So, like, I like that part a little bit more. I think the course is playing more true than a lot of majors and PGA Tour courses play just because of the fan interference and the way that they can adjust, some of the deep. They don't adjust the deep rough, but I mean they walk on it. They kind of lower it down, make it to where like Matt Fitzpatrick last year had a really good lie in somewhere where he should have been close to dead. If I was out there playing, if any of you were out there playing on a non event kind of week, so I like that part. I do not like that, there's not that many fans. I was a little bit iffy on it because I kind of had an idea from them talking about it that it was going to be a lot less fans this week than we are used to seeing. So I wasn't that surprised, but it seems like a lot of people were, and a lot of people are pretty upset with the lack of fans there. And it is what it is. Oh, that's no good. It is what it is. I mean, I think Sunday, I don't think it's going to change very much. So just buckle in. It honestly it makes golf a little less fun to watch because like Ricky Fowler made the huge putt on it was the back nine. I want to say it was 15, may have been 13. I think it might have been right before the short par three, but made like a 69-foot putt. I mean, it sounded like, his group, like if you're at a local course and like your group cheered for you after making it. Like that, it wasn't much louder than that. So once I heard that, I was kind of like, okay, this is really a different U.S. Open. And I kind of lean into that with a couple of my picks also because, as we saw during COVID, different people are going to win different events when fans aren't as prevalent, aren't as loud. They're not, maybe the pressure doesn't feel the same. So let's get into my Sunday picks and let's see what we got here. Alrighty. Let's jump into it. So, obviously, top to bottom, top will be teeing off first. Bottom is the last group, so that is the last one. So, Russell Henley versus Cam Young. I have Russell Henley. I'm taking Russell Henley at plus 105 odds. This one I'm actually kind of calling on my own. Whenever I ran all of the DraftKings, and I kind of limited the amount because yesterday I spent a good hour going through all of the lines versus the model, and like a lot of the ones are like minus 250 because it's a superstar minus a random guy. The model basically comes back pretty similar. Like when you have an obvious favorite, the model is going to see that as well. So I kind of had to cut the field down a little bit. The other four, the model and me agree that these four should be picked. Actually, one of them iffy on, but on Russell Henley, Cam Young, I'm just going to go ahead and keep tagging Cam Young as just an easy target. I feel like in these head-to-head matchups, I think I'm 2-0 when I bet against him right now. So I just feel good. Again, his game's not there, his putting's not there. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Russell Henley. Matt Fitzpatrick versus Colin Morikawa. I mean, this is one that actually the model came back and said that Fitzpatrick should be like a minus 120 favorite. I like the way that he can kind of plot his way around a golf course. Now, as we saw yesterday with a couple of guys, fairways are going to be super important. Both these guys can struggle to hit fairways at times. So I think today this matchup could really just come down to who hits the most fairways, who hits the most greens in regulation, and just kind of keeps bogeys off the scorecard. Hideki Matsuyama versus Cam Smith. I'm taking Hideki at plus 120. So this is one that the model did come back and say that Hideki should be the favorite over Cam Smith, even though Cam Smith is a minus 140 favorite. I kind of see it. Hideki can be a hit or miss putter, where Cam Smith is lights out, I think, most of the time. And but I mean, as someone who bet on Cam Smith yesterday, I mean, Scotty wasn't having a good day until he went eagle birdie to finish, but Cam Smith was blowing it everywhere on this golf course. I mean, he could not hit a fairway to save his life on the back nine. And if he's going to be driving the ball like that, there's only so much a great short game can do. If you are having to, if you're in a par four and you're having to basically lay up on a par four because you find yourself in deep rough. So if Cam Smith can't find that driver, I think another over par day is coming for him. I think Hideki, it's all going to come down to how he putts today. If he putts solidly, I think he can get a couple under par and steal this win for us. Harris English versus Dustin Johnson. Now, this is one that I think a lot of people are going to be on the other side of. I think Dustin Johnson is a pretty big favorite at minus 170. But, again, I'm kind of going to go back to the lesser crowds. There's not going to be as much, not fan interference, but fan reaction, fan noise in this matchup. Whereas if DJ, if it was a normal U.S. Open, DJ's a pretty big crowd favorite. I think they'd be favoring him a decent amount. We saw during COVID a bunch of different guys won these majors because there was no fans. It played a lot differently. I think Harris English could take advantage of that. He's been playing well all week. I think he could go toe to toe with anybody here on Sunday. I think Harris English is a sneaky guy that could potentially shoot a couple under par, post a number early. Dustin Johnson's also one of those guys, but I'm going to take the plus odds. We're on the last day, so we're a little over breaking even. I want to try and take a shot on a guy that I think can maybe give me a little extra profit, so we're going to take Harris English. Last but not least, Wyndham Clark versus Ricky Fowler. We are jumping on the other side of the coin here. We had Wyndham Clark yesterday. Like I said, it hit after that missed putt on 18. But we're going to jump ship. We are going to ride with Ricky Fowler. And this is a little bit – the model came back exactly perfect on this one. They actually thought Wyndham needed to be like a plus 115. I think he's a minus 105. And Ricky, they had him at a minus 121 favorite. So they think Ricky should 100% be the favorite in this matchup with the conditions that I had set. I think that I agree with that. I think Ricky could come out there and win there. He has been in this situation plenty of times. Remember a little while ago now, he finished top 5 in all 4 majors in a single season. He's been near the top of these leaderboards. He's been playing well all season. He just needs to, again, continue to steady the ship. Not so many bogeys, not so many birdies. Just if he can go out there, if he can shoot an even par to a 1 to 2 under, I think Ricky can win this. Now we'll see what Scotty does. Scotty's only 3 back. I think actually let's take a look at Scotty's odds real quick here because I thought about potentially putting a little wager on old Scotty Scheffler today. Oh, Scotty's only plus 400, so you're still getting him at below odds that you were for the championship. Xander plus 3,500, DJ plus 3,500, Harris English plus 4,000. So I would if you're going to take a Sunday bet on a guy, I would take a look in that range. If you want to go Rory or Scotty and just try and get a little 4x or 2x your money, 2.5, I think for Rory, that's an option as well. Hopefully, you got a guy near the top. Hopefully, you bet on a Ricky, a Wyndham, a Rory, Scotty, something like that. You have a guy to root for. But besides that, it's been an awesome week. Again, if you are watching this video, you've stuck around this long, subscribe, like, share on social media, help your boy out. I appreciate it. Peace out, everybody.